Hello, everybody. I think I've said this before. I didn't realize people try to read my t-shirts. Uh, so if I don't go like this, they're disturbed because they think something else is written down below the below the pecs. But Binge Jesus, of course, is all about The Chosen and watching that film series. There are 4 seasons out. I think the 4th season is coming on TV in 1 or 2 weeks, beginning on TV. I think it's on CW, but you can look that up. Hello again. A couple of announcements again, lest I forget. I really want to encourage our parishioners, please, to be giving to CSA. We have a 58,000 plus $1,000 goal, and we've only made a portion of that, like 18,000. So we really, please, I know the times are getting tougher, but we need to make that goal, or we lose the money from our savings. On the other hand, the positive side is if we, when we make our goal, because we always do, but it comes down to the wire, if you will. Once we've made our goal, then anything we give back into CSA before the end of this year's campaign, that all goes to us. It's not taxed by the diocese, and for which we say thank you, dear Archbishop. And so the Christmas collection also is not taxed, however, it is. It's not taxed on its own. It's like double speak almost. But it's taxed as part of our total income for the year. Unlike CSA, anything over and above what our goal is, we get to keep for the parish. So think about that, and maybe think about also putting some, if not all, of your Christmas donation into CSA for us. But remember, the diocese, of course, gets its cut first from what we put in to that savings. We have a golf tournament coming up on September 7th. I think we still have a few spots, and I'm not, underselling or overselling, whatever you might want to call it. We really have, I think we'll have a record number of players this year. Sounds like a lot of fun. We're going to have good weather. Of course, can never promise that in Michigan, huh? But if you're interested, please call the office immediately. And back to CSA for a moment. Look for mailers in our bulletin if you want to pay that way. We have a couple free sign-up efforts over the next few weeks. One is for OCIA, the Order of Christian Initiation of Adults. That is, again, old-time religion, we called it convert classes, but they're for anybody interested in the faith or interested in growing in their knowledge of the faith. So if you're interested in either, just signing up to learn more about the faith and to become Catholic or to finish out your sacramental program, please call the office again. You might ask for Gloria directly. We also have a grief support program. All these things you can find online on our parish line for dates and beginnings of these groups. And finally, faith formation, our kids programs from K through, is it K? Or through 8, yes. K through 8. Okay? Sign up for that. But again, all this is online too. We have a Labor Day Mass. I'll tell you about that next time around. This Sunday, we conclude what I've liked to call our picnic gospels for the summer. Every summer we're treated to 4 to 6 selections from chapter 6 of John's Gospel, where Jesus multiplies the loaves and fishes and then has this beautiful, lengthy commentary on himself being uh, our bread, our drink, his flesh, his blood, is his body, is our food and drink. So that whole series ends this weekend, but I'll preach to that gospel, or pardon me, I'll make comments to it for the next program. This week, I'd like to take the epistle from this coming Sunday's Mass, because precisely it is so controversial. It just raises the hackles on some people. So here, let me give it to you. Ephesians chapter 5, 21 through 32, but I won't read all those verses. Brothers and sisters, be subordinate to one another out of reverence for Christ. Now remember, that is how this passage starts. We are subordinate to one another. But the next line throws people right over the fence. Wives should be subordinate to their husbands as to the Lord. Paul really is beginning to explain what he was saying with that first line. Be subordinate to each other. For the husband is head of his wife. That really gets us. Just as Christ is head of the church, he himself, the Savior of the body, as the church is subordinate to Christ, so wives should be subordinate to their husbands in everything. Now catch the next line. Husbands, love your wives. Now, mind you, Paul doesn't say to the wives they should love their husbands, because love is more costly than being subordinate. Love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and handed himself over for her to sanctify her. Okay? In other words, the husband has to be willing and ready to die for his wife. We didn't demand that of the wife, but all of this is implied. Mutual subordination means so much of what we say about one spouse, we are also saying of the other. Not everything, but and also. I must say that, and this line, by the way, is a tough one for us men. Husbands should love their wives as they do their own bodies. We really like our bodies, you know. But not just men, women do too. That's part of survival or self-survival. He who loves his wife loves himself. In other words, she is his other self. That's the way he has to treat her. All these demands were not made of her earlier in this reading. No one hates his own flesh, but rather nourishes and cherishes it, even as Christ does, the church, because we're members of his body. That reading, as I say, is very controversial, but keep bringing yourself back to the first line. Spouses, husbands and wives, be submissive to each other. That certainly leaves a lot of room for our stressing the equality of husband and wife today, to not excusing one iota the dominance of a man over his wife, or the abuse of a woman by the man. None of that horror is being encouraged by Paul, unless we misinterpret him, of course. We misinterpret them, we can get all the ugliness we want out of that reading. But it's intended for beauty. I spent time, again, I think I told you about doing this some months back, but just last week I spent some time with friends outstate, and they have 4 children ranging in age from, I think it's 4th grade on through second college. And they were all home when I was there for a couple of days, and wow, what a loving family, deep in the faith. And of course, they pray together. The children are educated in the Catholic schools, and but the kids all love each other. As I say, I was there for a couple, 3 days, and the only voice I heard raised was Alfie's. Alfie is the dog. He would bark once in a while. Nobody else barked. Nobody in this almost 72 hours I was there. And the kids enjoy talking with each other. We shared a meal every night together. It was just wonderful. And the kids love their dad as well as their mom. The parents love on the kids, and the kids love on the... It was wonderful. But I'm telling you, it all starts with the love of Christy for her Dan and Dan for his Christy. The two of them so love, revere, and respect one another. Respect. Dan says he wouldn't be where he is today in his work and in his life were it not for his wife. And the children wouldn't be the way they are without her. She, in the meantime, lifts him up, you know. That's why the kids love him, because mom loves him. So that's mutual subordination. As a result, the children are subordinate to their parents, and the parents are very respectful of their children. All what goes around comes around. Keep trying to go around in that circle of love. God bless you.